I'm going keto again, but different. Hello, hello. One of the, no, it was the first thing that I did when I started this channel, like 2 some years ago, I don't know, was I went keto. And I went keto for a month, and it really didn't change basically anything. And then I stopped because I didn't like it. Yeah. But I'm gonna try again, and here's why, and here's what I'm going to do different. Last time when I was keto, it was meat heavy. It was like typical sort of meat heavy keto. I was eating some salad, but a lot of meat. And at that time, I was more into that, like, what do you call it? Like nourishing traditions, and like starting to learn little bit about like Ray Peat kind of stuff. So I was doing meat and cheese and milk and all that kind of stuff. But then eventually I kind of came to this realization just like a few months ago. And I think I talked about this a bit in my last video, last couple of videos. At first I said I was gonna try going vegan again, but then I clarified that no, I'm actually vegetarian, because I've not been able to figure out how to go vegan without getting really like bloated and gassy again. And I'm just not willing to do that. I would like to be plant-based again for the most part, but I haven't been able to figure that out yet. The bloating and the gas with a lot of plant foods. So I'm vegetarian. And the reason I started thinking about trying keto is because I've been subscribed to Lauren Kennedy West for a long time, just because I found it interesting. She has schizoaffective disorder, which is like schizophrenia and bipolar together. And it's just interesting. It was interesting learning about it. And she gave like a unique perspective. She talked about it in a way I hadn't seen people talking about that kind of stuff. So anyway, I've been subscribed to her for a long time. And then apparently there's this semi-recent development in the mental health world where this guy named Chris Palmer has this new theory, which he calls the brain energy theory, where he's talking about how basically all mental disorders are actually just metabolic disorders of the brain. And so you can use keto in a similar way that people use keto for type 2 diabetes, or it can be helpful in like Alzheimer's, and then also epilepsy, which a little bit falls into the category of a mental disorder, just because I don't know how to say that, but they they used a lot of the same medications for epilepsy and mental disorders. So anyway, so using a keto diet and giving your brain and your body this alternative source of fuel, ketones, can be really helpful for people with all of these metabolic disorders. And there are like a lot of people with very serious mental disorders like schizophrenia and bipolar who are putting them into remission using a keto diet. And Lauren Kennedy West did this. And she doesn't have symptoms of her schizoaffective disorder anymore, and she's been totally off medication for like a year or something now. And so as I explored in my last video, kind of coming to the realization that maybe basically everything I'm experiencing with my cognition is a result of depression. This is gonna be every video now. Now that this cat has warmed up to me, this is gonna be every video. She won't leave me alone. She just follows me around all day. If really like my cognitive issues are stemming from depression, then maybe this could really help me, because people are using it for depression as well. Like people with major depression are using keto to put their symptoms in remission. And so I'm like, well, crap, like maybe I should try it again. But thinking, like, I haven't been eating meat. I've been eating a little bit here and there. Like I've had fish a couple of times, and when I cook steaks for the rest of my family, the pieces that I cut off of my kids' steak that they share, that they won't eat, like the fat and stuff, I'll eat that because I figure, like I've already started going low carb, and you know, it fits in with my diet, and steak is like the one meat thing that I don't find repulsive, right? Fish I kind of put in a separate category. I don't find fish repulsive, but most meat, I've just like, since I've kind of come to that realization again, getting back to my vegan roots and realizing like I actually just really don't want to eat that stuff, meat in particular. I'm feeling just like repulsed by it and very unappetizing. I find it very unappetizing, right? But like steak is the one thing where it's like, it tastes pretty good, like it's fine. So yeah, I'm having very little meat anyway. And so I'm like, well, how am I gonna do this? And you know, my mind's rolling and I'm thinking about the different vegan diets and raw vegan diets. And I've noticed this in the past, how some raw vegans, they really eat quite a high fat diet. And then like other raw vegans, like the 80-10-10ers, like Doug Graham, really criticize that and say that's bad. But then the higher fat diet raw vegans say that eating too much fruit is actually what's bad. And it's kind of funny because none of the raw vegans, like I've seen people like press them on it, like Brian Clement and Brooke Goldner. If somebody says like, oh, like this is a high fat diet, like it's kind of keto, they're kind of like offended by that. They're like, no, it's not keto, like no. But I'm just like, okay, well, you can do it keto. Like you have to be mindful about it and make adjustments, but you can do like vegan or raw vegan keto. And I'm like, well, maybe I could do something like that. So that's what I'm trying to do. It's vegetarian. I have not yet figured out how to make it totally vegan. And I'm not like putting pressure on myself here, because I figure like my number one goal has to be fixing this issue, like improving my cognition. Once I get to the point where I can actually think, where I can think well again, and make connections easier in my brain, then figuring out how to do things differently or do things better will be a lot easier. Like I've spent years now trying to like figure out how to do lots of different things and how to change what I'm doing in a lot of different ways. And it's like, I just can't, it's just not like, I just can't figure it out a lot of the time. Especially like certain things, I don't even know. And a lot of things, I just ripped my pants. A lot of things to do with food, I have a very difficult time kind of wrapping my head around. I think it's because there's a lot of different like moving parts, a lot of different pieces to it. Like I can't freaking meal plan. I try to meal plan, but there's just like, I'm looking at all the stuff we have, like all the different food, and then the different things that like I and my husband and my kids eat and don't eat. And I'm like, it's just too many pieces for my brain to put together. So anyway, tangent, but anyway, I'm just gonna do what I gotta do to try to be keto and see if I can get these improvements that people are getting with like these issues, the depression, the cognitive stuff. And something else that Lauren Kennedy West, she also had PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, right? Which is highly hormonal, you know, it's a female issue. And that's also resolved for her doing keto. So it's like maybe keto can, like, if my depression is stemming from some like hormonal dysregulation or whatever, and I am going to make another video. I think that's what I'll do. The video I'll do next is actually like breaking down what my symptoms are, because I've never been able to do that like very concisely. So I'm gonna try and do that for you and for me. Like maybe this could work. Maybe this could be the thing that works to heal my brain. And like I said, I tried keto a couple of years ago, but it being meat heavy, I think really made it not sustainable. Like I did not enjoy what I was eating. Like some of it I did, but a lot of times I was just like, you know, and I have to find a way to make this sustainable for me if I'm going to stick with it for long enough, because one of the things that Chris Palmer and other people say is that sometimes it can take some months for you to start seeing results from this, like being in ketosis for like 3 to 4 months and giving your brain that time and your body that time to like adapt and efficiently start using the new fuel source or whatever. Yeah, like it can take several months, and I only did it for a month. So, I mean, who knows, right? So I'm doing it vegetarian. I'm totally PUFA-maxing. I'm sorry, Peters, but I'm PUFA-maxing. I've got flax oil. I got my nuts and seeds. I soaked some walnuts overnight and I made a walnut pate that I'm gonna like wrap in a nori sheet with some avocado and maybe some bell pepper. That sounds really good. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, so and then also coconut. So I got the saturated fat too. I'm doing coconut, I'm doing avocado, I'm doing nuts and seeds, oils, like healthy oils. What I think is healthy oils, whatever. You may disagree. But yeah, and then like vegetables and dairy and eggs too, because I'm just like, I'm still trying to figure this out. And cheese and like hard-boiled eggs is just like the easiest thing in the world to grab and eat some of, and it's satiating and it's tastes good. It tastes good. So yeah, I'm a vegetarian keto. I'm on the path. I've for like a couple of weeks now, I've totally eliminated all grains and like starches and starchy vegetables. So I've been pretty low carb. I am still having some whole milk, which I know has lactose or whatever, milk sugar in it. But really it's not a ton, you know? If I got me like a venti unsweetened matcha latte from Starbucks, theoretically, like it probably has like 15 to 20 grams of carbs. So not something I'll be having if I want to be in like consistent ketosis, but I'm transitioning, all right. Transitioning, low carb, all right, it's okay. I am committed to trying this for at least 4 months. So let's see. If I started it at the beginning of September, so the new year, okay, we will do this thing. What am I doing? I'm doing keto. I'm doing vegetarian keto is what I'm doing. Until the new year, and we will reevaluate where I'm at that point. What was I gonna say? I intend to get a Keto Mojo meter, because I feel like the other methods of testing ketones, like there aren't continuous keto monitors available in the United States, really, as far as I can tell right now. Or I don't know how to get that, but that would still be more expensive anyway. But like the breath strips and the urine strips, they're just not, like, it doesn't even seem worth it. Like, I used the urine strips the whole time. I did keto last time, and they always said I was in pretty deep ketosis, but I felt absolutely no different. And so I just don't trust that. It was just some cheap crap off Amazon. So I'm gonna eventually get the Keto Mojo, but I like, money. It's money. So I have to figure out when I can do that. Maybe I'll ask for it for my birthday or something. I don't know. And then with the tracking food, it's like, food is already difficult for me to figure out. Like, I don't know what it is. It's something about like food especially causes me trouble. Like, I just can't wrap my head around it. I can't wrap my head around like there's all the different ingredients and I'm always forgetting something and just like trying to keep it all in my head. Like, I don't know, man. But so, and adding on like weighing my food, measuring it, like, and then inputting it into a little app, it's just too much. Like, it's too stressful. And so I do it here and there. I have a chronometer on my phone and I'll input stuff here and there, like when I feel like I have the ability to do that and it's not going to stress me out. But it's not consistent. But like, I figure if I get the blood meter, the Keto Mojo, like and I'm using that, just knowing where my ketones are, like that's kind of good enough. That like, because different people can get away with different things. Like some people can't tolerate like sugar alcohols at all. Some people can have higher carbs. They say, especially if you have weight to lose, like if you have excess body fat, then you can usually stay or like get into ketosis and stay there even at a bit of a higher amount of carbs. But if you're lean and you do not have much body fat to burn, then you have to be a lot more strict with how many carbs you're consuming. And I got some body fat to lose, y'all. So like not a ton, but I got some. So anyway, yeah, I don't know like how strict I actually have to be to stay in ketosis, to like get in ketosis and stay there. I don't know if I'm there. I don't think so because I'm very fatigued. I'm fatigued. My body's like, you're not giving us very much carbs, but I don't know what the hell to do with the rest of this. So yeah. But the fatigue is different. Like when I'm eating carbs, it's like everyone talks about this. Keto people talk about this, how you're not on the blood glucose roller coaster or whatever. And that's absolutely like, now it's like I'm just fatigued all the time. I don't know why I put this on my hand. Okay. It's like I'm just kind of fatigued all the time unless I have some caffeine. I'm not having any coffee or espresso, by the way. I'll talk about that some other time maybe. But several months now, I've really just been off the coffee and espresso. I think I've broken the addiction, which is major. But I do have like matcha, and then I'm making fat bombs, have like cocoa powder. So I have some caffeine. And when I have some caffeine, I notice a difference. What was I even talking about? Oh my gosh. I don't know what I was talking about. So anyway, I'm doing keto. I'm gonna do keto. That's what's going on. That's what I'm doing. And we'll see how it goes. Oh, right. Okay. I was like in the past, the fatigue was more like up and down, Like now, that's what I was saying. Now I'm more just kind of fatigued all the time, but to a lesser extent. And if I have some caffeine, it kind of gives me a little boost, right? But before it's like, it was more like a roller coaster. Like I'd have times when I was up and then I'd go down and then I'd go back up and then go back down. And when I was down, I was like way more fatigued. Like I would have to go like lay down, you know what I mean? And I would really fight to not go lay down. It was really hard. It's really hard. Now it's more of like a steady fatigue that's not as low. Right, okay. But hopefully if my body becomes fat adapted, that'll go away. Like, that's what people say. So here's hoping. So anyway, I'm gonna stick to it and I will let you know how it goes. And I'm gonna get that freaking keto mojo. I'm gonna find the money somewhere. I'm gonna get it. And yeah, good luck to me. So see you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching.